Okay, so today we're going to talk about a beautiful mantra that we've been chanting every single session. Uh, we know kind of the meaning of it, but we really don't know. The reason we don't know that is that we know the half of it and the other half we don't know. So that really misses the whole purpose of chanting it. When we know both, then we will be chanting in a very proper way and with a full meaning. What I'm trying to say is the mantra says Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutyurma Amrutam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now, the way we are the product of Sansar. Sansar, everyone knows. Everyone talks about it. If I talk about it, you understand me. But to us, that's the truth. And that's why this mantra is necessary, to bow down to the Guru and seek some help so that you can be taken from the Asat to the Sat. Asat is something that's not real, and Sat is something real. So question is, if you don't know what is Sat, Asat will replace it. Asat will become the Sat. Because without the knowledge of the Sat, Asat carries a lot of weight, a lot of meaning. It's like having a fake dollar bill in your pocket. It looks like a dollar bill, but you don't know whether it's fake or not. So Sansar carries a real strength and value in our mind, but it is a fake dollar. Until you actually see the real dollar, you compare and you said, yes, that is true. This is a fake dollar. So what is the difference between Asat and Sat? The difference is the knowledge. The knowledge of the Sat changes the game completely. Until then, Asat remains Sat. And it has to. The Sansar looks real, and it has to look real. Because if you think about it, a dollar bill, a fake dollar bill, has to majority extent, looks like a dollar bill. Otherwise, who will be looking and going after the fake dollar bill anyway? Even when you are going after a fake dollar bill, you really are going after a dollar bill, except that you're thinking at that time that it is real. That's all. But the fake dollar bill has to borrow the reality from the true dollar bill. So that's the trick the Sansar is playing on us. It makes us believe in it by showing itself to be real. And we believe it. We even have our instrument ready to say and prove that, yes, this is the truth. Our eyes are looking at something and it says, yes, it is the truth. Your ears are listening and it says, yes, that sounds like right. And you touch it, you smell it, you taste it. All 5 sense organs are ready to vouch for it, that this sansar is real. And that's where the problem is. The truth is behind the senses. The truth is behind the mind, which is the seat of the senses. Senses are indriyas. They are lesser gods. And mind is your Indra. So there is a court that is being held by Indra. And all these 5 senses are the indriyas, which are carry the stimulations from the sansar. And they bring it to the chief god, Indra. But Indra is not the final god. There is a lot beyond that. So it's a self-contained circuit that keeps going on between the sansar, the 5 senses, and the mind. And it keeps on playing, and one keeps on patting the other that, yes, this is real, this is real, this is it, has to be real. The problem is the Sat is hidden behind the mind. which mind cannot reach. All the five senses cannot reach. All your body organs cannot touch, cannot reach, and the sansar cannot reach. The mind, the five senses, the body, and the external world, they are all in a single loop. The mind, like a telescope, is geared towards looking at sansar. That's what was its purpose, to look at the sansar. The spirituality comes in where it opens up a new dimension for you. And that's when, just by witnessing, being an observer of this play, the gimmick, the trick that we have been tricked into, to realize, to go out of it and reach to the truth. And it's not easy, because all our life, all our multiple lives, we have been duped into this believing that sansar is real. So this mesmerization is difficult to break, and that's why we need help of a guru. So guru can take you from asat to the sat. And guru is not a physical event. The guru is not just a physical entity. Guru only facilitates. The journey has to be done by you. And it's not even a journey. It's not even a physical taking from you to take you from one place to another. It's not like that. Those are all imaginations of the mind. The sat is right here. As we speak, it's right here. The only difference between asat and sat is the knowledge. Once you know the sat, asat disappears. So asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgaya. Tamas is the darkness. Jyoti is the light. We believe that sansar is real because sat has not been reached. Same way, we are used to this darkness of sansar, and because we have never experienced the light that goes beyond, over and beyond everything. And that light only will make us realize that it was the darkness that we were living in. And again, this is not a physical darkness. Sure, we have sunlight everywhere, but that's not what we're talking about. This darkness is the ignorance, the lack of knowledge. So the path of spirituality is to take you from the lack of knowledge, the ignorance, to the knowledge. Now, where is the journey involved? No journey involved. It's resetting your mind. When you reset your mind from ignorance to knowledge, all of a sudden everything changes. Somebody knocks on your door and you don't know the guy. The guy is trying to act like a friend, and you keep on treating him as a stranger. And you keep doing it, and the guy is really getting irritated. He says, come on, I am your friend. You just forgot me. For all these years, we haven't met. And suddenly something strikes in your mind. And he says, oh yeah, oh my God, I'm sorry I treated you this way. Yes, 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 of course, now I remember. So what's the difference? Ignorance versus the knowledge. So there is no journey involved. There is no motion involved. It's an internal rearrangement of your inner structure of your mind, how you can rise in a different dimension. So Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutyurma Amrutam Gamaya. Mrutyu is all we see. All sansar, everything is born, grows, decays, and death. There is a death stamp written on every single birth that has taken place, whether it dies in 2 years or 20 years or 100 years, it doesn't matter. But the stamp of the death is written on it. So that is mrityu all along. There is a lot of suffering in life, but the death is a certain thing. So mrutyurma amrutam gamaya. Amrut is something that does not die. So what are all these differences between sat and asat, light and the darkness, and mrityu to amrut? This is where the journey takes you. This is where we go further from behind the mind by through meditation and becoming steady in our own self, what we are made out of. If a pot becomes egoistic and starts bragging about its own structure to the next part that, okay, I'm bigger and better than you, I have a better color than you or whatever. And when the pot maker comes and it destroys all the pots and makes mud out of it, mud survives. Mud can never be destroyed any further. Same way, we all look different. We all feel different. We think different. We have ideas are different. We are even different than animals, even the rocks and the minerals. All these differences ultimately pulverizes all the matter, dissolves into one spiritual energy. And that energy is the godliness. That is the ultimate truth. Until then, we keep on suffering. The sansar is nothing but full of suffering, whether we know it or not, whether we realize it or not. It just comes to a point that somebody realizes and somebody doesn't for the rest of their life. So, sansar, why do we need to transcend the sansar? Why do we need to transcend the asat to sat? Why do we need to transcend from ignorance to the knowledge? And why from death to the immortality? Because that's where the suffering is. Sansar, which is the ultimate destination of the egoistic mind, and it keeps on running and running and running and keeps on looking for more and more pleasures. There is no end. Even if you have abundance, you have won the whole earth, you still will have more desires left to finish until you get finished. So the path of sansar is path of suffering, path of keep on waiting all the time, keep on dreaming new goals, new solutions, and then more goals, more solutions, more sufferings. And this is not where the peace can be found. So truth is something, once you find the truth, there is peace. There is tranquility. There is no running. There is no desire. And question is, how do you know? It's a big event when you transform from asat to the sat. Sat is, this is the one of the the only major phenomenon that can happen on the path of spirituality. So if you don't know, who will know? You will know. The question is, how do you know? The amazing sense of tranquility surfaces. And this is where you realize that all your goals are met. All your desires don't have any value. After getting the godliness, there is no more desires left. So that's why we need to seek Asatoma Sadgamay. That's why we need to go from mrityu to amrut and ignorance to the bliss. So that's why we chant this mantra, and with devotion to the Guru who can help us to guide from all these negativities of life to the positivities. And when we reach the truth, the existence that is around here right now, it is so vast. We look back and we realize that that ignorance was just figment of mind, thinking activity. It was the ignorance. This was all our friend all along. We just decided to call him stranger. Suddenly the stranger becomes a friend. Same way, the whole sansar becomes a reflection of godliness. So that is the whole journey. That is the whole purpose of the spiritual path. So let's see how it's going to transpire into our day-to-day life that we're going to look into through the Tummo meditation. As we know, the first finger and the thumb on the Vajrasan, both hands resting on the thighs. We're going to start with Muladhara. As you know, we're going to take a deep breath, hold it, push it down, contract all the muscles. Imagine a fire in the Muladhara chakra or the corresponding chakra, and withdraw the rectal muscles. Take a deep breath. Keep your eyes closed. Stay tuned with your awareness. Be aware. That's the goal. Be aware of the position of your body, of your finger, of your thumb, the position and the posture, and the heartbeats and the blood flow. Just be aware of it. Take a deep breath. Relax. Feel the energy rising. Raise your awareness with the energy to the higher chakras. Be a witness of everything that is happening. Take a deep breath. And relax. When you hold your breath, don't forget to bend your head and lock the neck. Fire is burning at Muladhara. We go to Swadhisthana, 4 fingers below the navel. Take a deep breath. Watch the blood flow. Sudden rise of the energy going along your spinal cord, rising to the sahasrara. Take a deep breath. And relax. Just be a witness. Awareness is the most important player in the game. Without that, you cannot be aware of your body, of your chakras, of the postures, of the heartbeats, of your pulse. Everything is witnessed by one entity, the awareness. Swadhisthana is where you have expanded yourself after being born, connecting with the earth and its resources. You are expanding into the world to fulfill your vrittis and vasanas and desires. You are too busy to think about the outcomes. You're too busy to listen to the wisdom of the rishis and the sages. The objects of pleasures are continuously drawing you closer to them, and you keep running and running and running. This running never stops. One desire ends, then another desire starts. But running has become your habit, and you don't know anything else. Take a deep breath. We rise higher to Manipur, between the rib cage. Take a deep breath. And relax. Manipur, where you assimilate all the energy, you generate all the prana to carry out your actions to be performed in the world. For what? To fulfill your desires. You start with desires for yourself, then you expand, and more desires, more running. Take a deep breath. And relax. Watch the flow. Observe the liveliness, the vigor, rejuvenation of the whole body. Be a witness of it. Deep breath. And relax. Remain silent. No thoughts. Just watch. We go higher to Anahat, the heart center. Deep breath. don't forget to contract the rectal muscles. Most important step that holds the prana. And when you open up, it releases. So all the muscles contracted, rectal muscles contracted. And the fire rising to anahat. Fire is to the chest cavity. Anahat is where you expand. You had started with your own desires, but now you have set up your loved ones, your friends, your relatives, your near or distant cousins, your spouse, your children. Now you're becoming philanthropic, extending love, affection to your own people, to your own objects of pleasures. Now you're being benevolent to them, but you're still locked in this mayajal, the sansar, still with full desires. Now your desires are not just for yourself, for everyone. Now your desires are not just for yourself, but for your children also, and even the grandchildren. You want to do things for them. We are full of desires. We don't want just our health. We also wish others' health also. Health for the spouse, health for the children, health for the grandchildren. We keep on wishing. These wishes are nothing but extended, fancy names for desires. We are just not ready to accept the life as it is. And this is considered fanciful thing to do, have emotions for each other. Sansar recognizes this as a good thing. No one realizes that these deep, hidden desires are the cause of suffering. Take a deep breath. So you keep on expanding. Your desires make you run. The definition of desire is try to bring what is away from you closer to you. And that's what makes you run. But what is inside, what is the truth hidden within, is already there, but we don't know about it. In the deeper, deeper, deeper pockets of the heart, there is this flow of consciousness running, and we are totally oblivious of it because we are running. The running never makes us stand. Running has become our nature. Whether we run for ourselves, for others, it doesn't matter. The mind always finds superior ideas that you're running for yourself. From that, you expand to running for your spouse, your family. Then they make you run for your religion. Then they make you run for country. All these tricks are loaded in your mind. Mind keeps on differentiating. In this duality, there is no peace, but you don't know that. Rise higher to Vishuddha Chakra. Take a deep breath. And relax. Vishuddha Chakra is where you start realizing there is something wrong. These anxieties of the future, the regrets of the past, they all are interwoven around the desire itself. If you had no desires, none of this would exist. Without desire, you would be totally happy with whatever happens in life. Versus desire makes you expect better and better and better. The present life would have no meaning when you have desires. And that has to change. Some intuition starts coming up within you, and you realize that this running is not taking me anywhere. Somewhere along the line, all the things that I have acquired go through the same stages: birth, growth, decay, and death. Whatever is a product of sansar is also going to have the same nature as sansar. Sansar means perishable. Sansar is a collection of perishable entities, whether it's a rock or a mineral or a sun or a moon. Everybody, everything is born. It grows, it comes, starts suffering and comes to an end. Even the gigantic sun will have a death, and death we see everywhere. The people, relatives, friends, spouse, children, parents. There is a death written everywhere, but we never realize this. We never realize that all this thing is going to come to an end. And somehow we think that we will always survive, because the body also does not survive. Body is also subject to the same principles of the sansar. That's when you realize that what kind of investment I have done. I need to find something that is beyond all that. That's when you start meditating. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutyurma Amrutam Gamaya. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So this is where your journey starts, from Asat to the Sat. Take a deep breath. Tighten up all the muscles and release them simultaneously. Watch the flow of the energy. It's rising. Now the fire has come up to the neck, to the Vishuddha chakra. Now it is burning. Take a deep breath. Release slowly. Each chakra was witnessed by the awareness. Awareness is independent of what it is seeing. What you see becomes an object, and the awareness becomes the subject. The only subject in the whole universe or beyond the universe is the consciousness, which has a capacity to be conscious of something. So everything else becomes the objects. Consciousness is the Krishna. Everything else is the gopi, dancing around the same consciousness. So we started our journey and we are going deeper into the awareness. We are becoming more and more aware. The awareness is our final destination when we take the spiritual journey. Asatoma Sadgamaya. We rise to the Agnya chakra, between the eyebrows. Take a deep breath. And relax. Fire is up to the Agnya chakra. All the chakras are understood. All the chakras are getting the light of the Agnya chakra, which spreads the light of wisdom, light of knowledge that you are not the body and you are not the mind either. You are transcending, you are on the path. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Take a deep breath. The awareness, the consciousness has become a reality. This is where you feel that you do not need your sense organs to appreciate the awareness. Awareness itself is aware of itself. It is independent of the body. The whole sansar existed because of the body, but awareness exists by itself. It is the truth. Vedanta says that one that perishes cannot be the truth. Body perishes. All the joys received from sansar also perishes. What comes to an end and what never existed before it started cannot be all of a sudden real. It just gives you a glimpse of reality, but it's not reality because it is something that is beyond your control and something that always disappears like a dream. It comes on its own, disappears on its own. That's why Vedanta call it Asat. Asat to Sat, Asatoma Sadgamaya. Take a deep breath. Mind was holding on to the sansar, thinking that it is real. Mind is a fool. Mind lives with the sense organs and its pleasures. It is tamas. Tamas is darkness. Darkness is not real. It does not have independent existence. Only the light has independent existence. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Jyoti has independent existence. It can live by itself. A lamp will be lighted up. It will have a definite effect on surroundings. But tamas, the darkness, is only absence of light. Same way the ignorance is only absence of knowledge. Stranger was the tamas. Knowing that he is a friend, the knowledge changes everything. So spirituality is to connect to the higher self, realizing it is real. And when you reach that, you do realize that you know that it does exist. Nobody has to come and tell you. It's your experience. We go higher to Sasar. We go beyond the body. Take a deep breath. And relax. The consciousness is all there is. The body has burnt, along with all its desires which were not even fulfilled. You came with certain desires and you're living with another set of desires. But no, in this life, we are not going to let that happen. By realizing the truth, the futility of all these desires becomes obvious. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutyurma Amrutangamaya. Mrutyu means sansar, so things which die. But awareness has no form, cannot die. If it cannot die, it was never born. It's Amar, Ajar. There is no birth, no growth, no decay or death to the awareness, to the consciousness. It is the field of ultimate existence, sitting where you realize all the journey of the life that you took was in darkness. Now the light has come, comes from the ultimate infinite consciousness. That's when we realize what we really are. Take a deep breath. Relax. This is where you realize. When you thought you were a pot, you forgot that you were mud. Now you realize. You thought you were human. Now you realize you are bathing in this vast godliness, which is the divinity, which is pure, without desires. Only desires make you impure. Only desires lead you to lie, cheat, steal, anger, greed. All these are products of ignorance. All these are products of desires. No desires, simplicity comes. That is your true nature. Take a deep breath. The body has burned. Peace and tranquility remains. Existence remains. Waves die out. Ocean remains. Waves are nothing but ocean in a different form. All this world of forms that we see is all coming from the formless consciousness. So go through this journey every day, every single time, every single second. Remember what you are. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrutyurma Amrutam Gamaya. And that's where you get Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Have a good day.